welcome to episode 2 of the Brett Beard Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. My name is Walker. I'm here with Coach Beard. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great, Walker. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Glad to be here.
Excited to have you this year.
Thank you. It's going to be a fun year. So week 1, big win at Mandeville. Can you break that game down for us?
Yeah, week 1 is always, it's always a test no matter who you're playing. You go on the road. We were both in a different situation, being in a neutral site at Lakeshore. The only ones that really should have been comfortable was Mandeville's coaches because that's where they'd come from. But you don't always know what you're getting into. Especially Mandeville having new coaching staff. We didn't have a whole lot to go off of with them, and week 1 you just never know which way it can go. Getting control of your emotions and the jitters and that first Friday night and on the road. And I thought our guys played a really strong game. I mean, we got physical, which is one of our big goals every week, is to be physical and out physical the other team. Executed in all three facets. Struggled a little bit offensively at times, had a few big mistakes. But really, I was really pleased by the way we handled ourselves, handled our business, and played for 48 minutes the way Denham Springs is going to play.
All right, Coach, let's get to the highlights. Season opener at Mandeville. Great captains this year, Coach.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the 4 and 5 guys we got chosen this year that's going to lead our program.
Caleb LeBlanc, there's a short kick here. It's muffed by Mandeville. Lionel Dawson on the recovery. Great start to the game. How important is it getting this momentum, first play?
Well, one thing historically with us is we haven't been a fast-starting football team or fast-starting football program, and we finally did that by, getting a break right here, recovering because we were full speed down the field, and ultimately punching it in and finishing that drive. It's huge to start this way.
Thank you, Coach. Great recovery by Lionel Dawson. Reese Mooney now hands it off to Cam Kelly, who has a pretty good run. Gets the first down on this play. Great start to their drive. And then Reese Mooney actually sneaks into the end zone on a QB sneak. Jackets are now leading 7-0. A Mandeville quarterback hands it off to the running back. Absolutely stuffed at the line of scrimmage by our defense. Great run defense here. I believe Hayden, Jed, and Jude were on that. Skipper's quarterback passes out Cameron Irith on that tackle. Mandeville is now back to punt. Hayden comes in and blocks it. Eli picks it up, and Eli actually takes this into the end zone. Jackets touchdown, 14-0 now. Great start. How important is it getting that 14-0 start against Mandeville?
I think a lot of times if you look at percentages, if you get a special teams touchdown, a lot of times that puts you in position to win the football game. So once again, you got the first score off of a special teams error, and then you block a punt, return it for a touchdown. You're 14-0. That's a huge momentum boost that we needed, and a huge start and fast.
It was an amazing start. There's Eli, you can see celebrating that big play. Mandeville quarterback drops back the pass, throws it deep downfield. It's broken up by Deshaun McBride, number 6. Great play by Deshaun. Quarterback hands it off to the running back. He goes right, gets just absolutely stuffed by the defense. Great play on defense. Jackets are now on offense. Reese fumbles the snap. It's picked up by the skipper. Skipper's possession of this play. How important was ball security on this play?
Well, these are the things that we can't have happen. You got all the momentum in the world. You've really put their back against the wall, and you're giving them life at this point. And this is how you let teams back into your football games. And this is the things we can't have happen. We got to put our foot on the gas and keep rolling.
Mandeville quarterback now drops back to pass. Here you can see Porter and Lex Chandler converging in to sack him. Great play in the backfield, big loss. Reese Mooney now drops it back. Ball is actually knocked out of his hand, I believe, on this play, and it's picked up by Mandeville.
Ball was actually fumbled. He's got to do a better job of ball security. You can't make excuses for anybody. That's 2 fumbles. Go ahead.
Skipper's running back runs to the right, gets into the end zone for a touchdown, cut the Jackets lead 14-7 right before halftime. How do you feel that the defense performed in this first half of play?
Well, I thought they were lights out. You got put in 2 bad spots right there. One of them you got us out of, and you can't ask them to do it every time. The breaks of the game go against you. You got to freaking keep going. And these dudes are asked to do things they shouldn't have to do at this point. Really pleased with them. Really disappointed with the turnovers.
Skipper's running back now takes it to the right side again, and then Hayden just comes in from behind and absolutely demolishes him. Great play by Hayden. Mandeville's forced a punt now. High snap. He fumbles the ball actually, and the Yellow Jackets recover on this play. Eli's on the recovery.
Great job with special teams with Eli, both big plays.
Jerry Horn is now in, hands it off to Ray McNeely, stiff arms the defender, and great field position for the Jackets, a couple yards shy of the end zone. Jerry Horn now hands it off to Ray McNeely again up the middle, gets into the end zone for a Yellow Jacket touchdown. Now the score is 21-7. Oh, how important is the duo between Ray and Cam in the backfield this season?
Well, I mean, I think we all know the importance of Ray. Unbelievable player. To have Cam emerge the way he has really gives us a huge 1-2 punch that's better than ever. And I love seeing Ray finish like he did. And preseason was kind of slow for him, but he's back.
Skippers end up punting again. It's a fumbled again. Bad snap. He runs out of bounds with the ball. Lex forces him out along with Jed. Jerry Horn now hands it off to Ray McNeely. Gets into the end zone once again.
Great run, great vision. You saw him hug the block right there and leak through. It was really an amazing run. Great job by the guys up front.
How would you say Ray's improved from last season to this?
Yeah, I mean, Ray gets better every day. You know, he's one of those dudes you love to have on your team. You know, he shows up every day. He's got an amazing attitude. He loves football. He loves his locker room. He loves his teammates, and really gives us everything. You know, he probably is not where he wanted to be because, you know, he played baseball this year, so his offseason was a little different, but this kid is back to better than ever, and we love having him on our team and look forward to all his highlights.
Skipper's quarterback now on offense, scrambles out of the pocket, throws it deep, caught downfield, and tackled by Cameron Irick. Quarterback keeps it, runs in for the touchdown. Now Skippers cut the lead to 20-13 after a blocked extra point. Skippers are back on offense now. He chucks it downfield. Number one on the Skippers comes up with the big catch. Mandeville quarterback now under pressure. Scrambles out of the pocket, takes off, gets past a few defenders.
Really a solid little player. I was impressed with this kid.
3rd and goal, Skippers quarterback back to pass. Lex gets to him and ultimately able to take him down. 4th and goal, they end up going for it. Throw it deep into the end zone. Deshaun McBride intercepts this. So Deshaun, what can we expect to see from Deshaun this season?
Well, I mean, the sky's the limit. That kid right there has got a chance to be special. If he continues to grow at the pace he's growing at from last year to this year to next year, Deshaun could arguably be one of the best recruits to ever come out of Denham Springs. I mean, he's really a special player, amazing attitude, works every day, and has become a huge force for us, and I'm excited to have him.
Late in the game, Skipper's quarterback drops back to pass, intercepted by Cameron Irick. He returns this for a touchdown, but this play's brought back due to a penalty. What did you see here on this play?
Well, I mean, you can see I'm not happy about something. It's, you know, we play a physical brand of football, and I'm not so sure that was a penalty. I'm all for safety in the game of football. I love this game more than anything, and I tell you, if it was dirty, I would call our own guys out. But we're going to play a physical brand of football, and I'm not going to ask this kid to do any different than the one that got flagged. And I love seeing Cameron Irick score. I'd rather him score touchdowns as a corner than I would a receiver.
Jerry Horn hands it off to Cam Kelly. Cam Kelly on a big 1st down trying to milk the clock. Great play by Cam. Jerry Horn takes this for the knee, win the game, 28-13.
Really a well-executed 4-minute drill. You know, you go out there to grind them out with 4 minutes left, and you finish with the ball. That's a huge end. That's a huge finish.
Great win versus Mandeville on the road. What would you say the biggest key to this win was?
Well, you know, you preached 3 facets, and I thought all 3 were really good. You know, a couple of them were better than others, but you know, special teams, when you get a score, when you get some blocks, some big plays, turnovers right there, it's hard to win a football game when you're giving those things up in special teams. And we did a phenomenal job there. Defensively, I love the aggressiveness. I love the way we flew around. You know, offensively, we sputtered early, but you know, you finish a game in a 4-minute drive. that means you've managed to milk a clock and really just grind people out. And ultimately, the name of the game is finishing. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that fourth quarter is so critical. And when in the fourth quarter we get better, we get faster, I couldn't be more happy and more pleased with our offense the way we finished. So really, there was a lot to take away from it. That a lot of positives, and there were some negatives. But I mean, that's every week. And we got those cleaned up, we got those addressed, and now we're going to look forward to Glen Oaks and. Really excited about where this football program's going and where we're going to be here in the next few weeks.
All right, so Ray and Cam kind of sharing the snap count on the ground.
Yeah.
What would you say the threat they pose to opposing defenses and kind of preparing for them and playing?
Well, one, as a defensive guy, I'm glad they're on my team. We got to do a good job offensively, make sure we don't create too many tendencies that are glaring to opposing defensive guys, and really set it up to where 4 and 5 is a pick your poison type deal. If you want to stop 4, well, here comes 5. If you want to take 5 out, well, here comes 4. And then you throw Micah into that mix, number 7. You'll see him back on the field this week. You'll see kind of the trifecta that we love offensively, and then with a sprinkle of good one, those guys are what's going to open everything up for 4 and 5. So we're really excited now to be full strength and begin to kind of unleash a little more of this offense every week. All
right. And Reese Mooney, he didn't come back into the game after halftime. Jerry Horn took over.
Yeah. He got a little nicked up. He's coming off the injury, and he got a little nicked up there and just didn't look like himself, and really hasn't looked like himself in a few weeks. And obviously there's been something wrong with him that we got to get addressed. And to have the luxury that we have with the young kid that comes in at quarterback that's already got a playoff win. Most high school programs aren't going to be excited to have to go to a sophomore at that point to where we're in a different position because our sophomore already played as a freshman. So to be in this position is not a bad spot to be in. And our quarterback room, like I told you last week, I'm as pleased with that quarterback room of any quarterback room I've ever had. I mean, we got 4 dudes we know can finish a game. But Reese being the senior and the dude, I mean, he's got to get well so he can really focus on every facet of the game, where he can get the mental side of it to go to the physical side of it, because physically Reese is as good as anybody. So if he's not physically well, then it's gonna hamper his game. And until he gets well, we're in a good spot with Jerry.
The defense on the other side of the ball, they had an amazing game against Mandeville. A lot of big plays, a lot of big defensive stops. What can you say about our defense this year?
Well, I think defensively is finally beginning to it's taking a little while longer here than it has done other places. But I think defensively they're finally buying into the mentality and the attitude and what we want to build defensively. We're always going to be sound on paper and X's and O's wise, but there comes a mentality to be a top defense in the state. You have to have a different arrogance about you, a different chip on your shoulder. And I believe finally these guys are starting to play with that attitude and play with that tenacity and a little toughness. And you can see that come out in their play with their energy and their little swag after when they like to flex and all this stuff and stare at their opponent. And if you're having success, I like that as much as anybody. But the biggest thing is you see them that they're flying around, they're having fun, and it's a nasty fun, which is what we're trying to preach as a defensive guy. That's what I want.
All right, moving on to the Glen Oaks game this week. It's on a Thursday night at Walker. Although it's marked as a home game, the guys are still going to have to get on a bus, go to Walker. How do you think the short week affects the preparation of this team?
Well, I mean, first off, with this team, I don't think there's anything we can do at this point that's going to rock their boat. I mean, they've been through any and everything imaginable. So, not every time, not every year we'll be able to use the excuse of this team's been through this, this, and this. But this team still has been through this, and this. And we all know what that is. So for them to get on a bus and take a ride to Walker will not affect any job we're trying to accomplish at all. When you get to the point of where you learn how to play Denham Springs football and handle your business, it really doesn't matter where we're at. We'll play green grass, white lines. We'll play anywhere you want. But it is our home game versus Glen Oaks at Walker High on Thursday night. So, our job is to go out and do our job and put a good brand of football out there and play.
Glen Oaks is a relatively small school compared to Denham. What can you say about the mismatch that might be
Well,
presented this Friday?
I came out of EBR one time when I was at Woodlawn, and I appreciate those schools that are working their tails off just like Glen Oaks does, and Beauchamp and Elliott Wilkins, guys that were really close with and friends with Smitty, who passed away. My best friend was DC that passed away, so I've gotten to know those guys quite well. You know, those kids deserve a chance to play on this stage as well, and that's really me. I just want those kids to have that opportunity. Mismatch or not, you know, it still comes down to the ball and how it bounces and us executing. But those kids, they want a chance to play on this stage, we'll give them that chance. And, you know, it's a 3A school that has probably had some struggles recently, but traditionally is a great program. You know, they're coming in 1-0 after beating Broadmoor last week. And, you know, they're excited about the opportunity to come play us, and they're feeling pretty good about their chances. So, you know, hats off to the way those guys are working and creating that culture at Glen Oaks. And, you know, for them to come over and play on this stage is exciting for them, and it's exciting for us to be able to let those kids play on that stage. So every kid deserves a chance to be on it. You know, we played East Liverville in the past, which was probably a greater mismatch. But you know what? Who's to say 1A can't play with a 5A team, or at least get the opportunity? They work the way we do, so they can be seen by a lot more people. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be exciting for everybody.
So the quarterback situation, Reese and Jerry, although Reese did not come back after halftime, Jerry kind of finished that game.
Yeah.
Who can we expect to see this Thursday night?
Well, I mean, this is not a quarterback controversy or a hot hand deal yet, I'll say, yet. But we're going to go with Jerry simply because, like I told you earlier, we got to get Reese well. You know, physically, we got to get him back into it to where he's comfortable doing everything we're asking him to do. And once he's healthy and doing everything we ask him to do, you know, we feel like Reese is our guy. I mean, we got to get the job done, and you know, you get all that out of the way and let him go play. You know, we'll see where we're at when that time comes.
And what do you think the keys to the game are going to be?
Well, I mean, I think, again, you have to execute. I think, again, you have to set the tone. And, you know, one thing we're talking about this year a lot is playing Denham Springs football. And, you know, let's find out if guys can match that 48 minutes and see if they can play with us for 48 minutes because that's a big deal to us. It's important to us. So we're going to try to make it important to everybody else, you know, that we're going to play for 48 minutes and see who can match that. And I think anytime, you know, execution, all the old coaching cliches I could throw out every term there is. But ultimately, it comes down to the teams that execute and tackle. You know, if we execute and we tackle well and we set a tone and get on that gas and never let up, we should be fine.
That's all the time we have. Thank you, Coach, for coming out today. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Shout out to James Restaurant for sponsoring the Brett Beard Show. Game at Walker versus Glen Oaks, Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
Not bad for a rookie, by the way. I'm impressed. This is only going to get better. He looks sharp. You look sharp today. You did really good. So Jules and Sully would be proud, and really excited to see where this goes.
Thank you, Coach.